Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mary and I'm glad that you're here. Hey, I've been seeing the numbers go up on the subscriptions and I so much thank you. So how do we do that? We do a heart like that. Is that the heart? Okay, that's my heart. Okay. I do thank you so much. And once I figure out, not a lot comes up on my dashboard too. Like, oh, you have this subscriber, that subscriber. I guess it's because some people don't let their YouTube information be public, and that's okay. But a few of you have left comments, which I do appreciate, and it just helps me knowing that you are watching my content and you're watching my channel. And maybe, just maybe, I'm hopefully motivating you to maybe work on a project that you've maybe had wanted to work on or whatever. Well, anyway, tonight, yes, I'm getting a later start, but that's okay. If you've watched some of my other videos, I made this. It technically, I know it's not a real jar, but it is just simply made out of a thinner piece of cardboard. And then, of course, I did not make these bees or anything. I actually ordered them from a company. There's a lady online that actually makes bees that looks like this, and she makes all kinds of things. She has fabulous looking things, and it's all handmade, of course. Now, these flowers, I think, are, she doesn't make those, but it's a certain company that makes them. Anyway, this was my lace that I added, and of course there is the letter B, but it's not what you would think it would be. It is the word ball, like in ball jars, but I covered it, of course, with lace. That could actually be anything you want. You wouldn't even have to put the word ball on there if you wanted to, or if you wanted to say, well, my jar is a mason jar, or whatever. Or you could even put your name on there or whatever. But anyway, tonight I wanted to go ahead and work on another one of these, and I just love doing these so much. And anyway, I did not have any cardboard that was even a little bit thicker. So what I had to do was I used a cereal box and I cut that to the shape that I wanted. And then, of course, I used the Kikkoman or whatever, what is it? Stuff you put in your stuff. Breadcrumbs, real fine breadcrumbs or whatever. You can use whatever. That's just what I used to make this a little bit thicker because we're going to be applying gesso on here. So this is just happened to be some gesso we found on sale, and good gosh, this is going to last us forever. And so I have it in a little cup there, and because, like I've said before, if you've watched my other video where I talk about this, when you're using gesso, you want to use it in the thick form that it comes in. You don't want to use it you don't want to water it down, in other words, because you'll make your project too flimsy. You want to have your project to be stiff. Or if you happen to be working with a wood type of thing, like if you wanted to cover up something, like, okay, here's an example. I bought this little thing for little of nothing at a flea market. Well, while this is a nice picture and everything, I'm thinking, I don't really like it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cover with gesso at some point, and I'm going to be doing some, my mind has gone blank. What do you call it? When you put a picture over the top of it, it'll probably come to me later. Why can't I think of that? I can't think of it. Anyway, my mind just went totally blank. I know what it's called, but I can't think of it. Anyway, You get my point though, because you obviously don't want to keep this on here and you want to cover it up. So, and you know, you'll just be putting this over the top of that. And that way your gesso, after it dries, it'll make whatever surface you're working on a little bit better to work on. Like cardboard by itself will not take to paint very well. It might, you might say, well, you know, she was wrong about that. My cardboard took to paint. But if you really want a good color, a good base for your color that you're working with, you do want to use gesso. So let's get going. And enough of this silly stuff, right? We don't want to know any more about that. Okay, so I'm just using a regular brush. And you always want to make sure anytime you work with anything like this, you want to make sure that you clean your brush thoroughly. I've used a paper towel because obviously my tiny little work area, I don't want to get it too messy. So we're just going to start out by just using just simple brush strokes. I'm not going to apply this real super heavy because, and I want my brush strokes to stand out basically. There's always something that gets on my work surface. So I think I better put this on this side since I am right-handed. Just makes it a lot better. And you'll notice when you are working with gesso, doesn't matter what you're working with, well, except for maybe wood that you're trying to cover up, but I'm talking about paperboard or cardboard, that you will have a slight bowing like I'm having right now. But that's all good. That'll all work out once it's dried. And like I said, I'm not really super wanting to cover up my brush strokes because this will lend to, well, what is the deal with all this stuff that I keep? Oh, I know what it is. It's material. Think nothing of it. I'm okay. I'm okay. But anyway, this coat that I'm applying on here will actually give the look of glass. That's what we want. We want the look of glass, even though this is not a real jar, obviously. But we want that look of glass. You'll also find it nice and handy to have when you're working with something like this. You know, your fingers are going to automatically get on this and you're going to leave little fingerprints everywhere. So if you'll get like a little tool, this is by Tim Holtz, and you might want to use something like that. You don't have to get something that is made by Tim Holtz, but it's nice to use something with a fine point on it. That way you're not getting your fingers in the big middle of everything. And you don't want little finger tracks in what you're working with. I think when I made the other jar, I did not show the process of, or maybe I did, I don't, isn't that funny? I don't remember. But I may not have shown the entire process of putting the gesso onto the paperboard, or the cardboard in that case. And don't worry if it gets a little bit on the edges, it's not a big deal. Okay. So I want a little bit more gesso up here in the lid area, because up here will be where I paint my lid on there. I hope I'm in the shot. I'm sure you all will tell me if I've missed not being on the shot right there. And I'll just kind of lightly go down this way. Again, I'm not worried about these strokes up here. Let's not get too silly here. I just need to make sure I keep this. Okay. And then we just have a few little areas down here where the where the little pokey tool left little holes. That's all right, because that just adds to the charm of your project that you're working on. At least that's what I think. I mean, you can totally do it a different way, whatever you want to do. But I'm just telling you what I do. Okay, so I am going to use my heat tool. I call it a heat gun, I guess. I don't know if that's what it's called or not, but it's this thingamabob here. I got mine on Amazon. And you just look at heat tool. You don't want to, this has 2 settings on it. I would use the lower setting because obviously you don't want to fry what you just worked on. So let me get this plugged in. Alrighty, so, well, that's nice. Now I'm wearing gesso on my fingernails. Oh well, the hazards of crafting. So now I'm going to run this, and you can see I've got a little bit of bowing going on here. And because this might take me a little while to get this dry to where I want it dry, I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I promise I'll come right back. Because now I know to hit that pause button again for it to continue to make one video then. All right, I'm back. See, just like magic. But snap your fingers and I am back. All right, so basically, this is dry. Doesn't take long at all. And I'm going to go ahead and put that tool back over here so it's not in my way and get a better adjustment in my chair here. So remember what I said, we wanted to have a little bit of brush strokes in there because that's going to add to your jar look, the glass look, I should say, because you want to be able to look as if you're looking into the jar. So that's going to take some creativeness here on my part here. So now if you've not heard of acrylic markers, they have other markers that you can use too, but I wouldn't suggest maybe using it on a project like this. But they have alcohol markers that are blendable. And then they have acrylic markers, which is actually just acrylic, like acrylic paint, but in the form of a marker. And I don't know that I would use just regular markers, you know, the kind that you get, you know, at the dollar store or whatever. Is it really $1 anymore? I don't know. So anyway, to kind of get the look of this, I kind of just sort of had to get an idea or a feel of what colors that I might want, because a lot of these don't really give you the color name. Now I can look at the cap and say, okay, well that looks sort of pink, but then so does this look pink. It would have been nice if they just put the colors on there, the names of the colors. Okay, so I do want this jar to also, in the cap especially, to have like a look of rust. Okay, just like that one, I want it here as well. So I've got this one out as reference. So I think what I did was, not sure if that is really the red one or not that I want to use. I can't remember. It's awful. But anyway, we're just gonna kind of work here. This is just gonna be kind of like I haven't done this in a while, so we'll see how it comes out. Because I need to also I'll go ahead and get these two. One's kind of a metallic silver, and one is this, just that kind of a silver. So we're just going to start in. Oh my goodness. This particular one has the bigger dot on one end and it has the smaller end to it. So I'm just going to kind of start in. Basically just want to have this as we've already said that this is going to be the lid. So basically lids are gold. And who knows, you might find a few jars in a thrift shop that have silver on them. I don't know. It's always that possibility. So we're basically going to stop right about here at the crease where this, the indentation of where it goes in. It's not really a crease, but I just said that. I may not say things exactly correct all the time, but I think you kind of get what I'm talking about. Okay, so now I want to use the smaller pinpointy end to go around the top here, because we want to give it depth. Okay, so far that doesn't look too bad. But you know, in a jar lid, there'll be other creases and indentations. So not every jar lid that you see in a ball jar is going to be straight up and down. So you got to give it the look that there are a few little, you know, things in there. So from what it looks like I did on here, to kind of study that a little bit. I can't remember if it was this one or if it was the other one I used. Oh dear, this is just going to be like, well, let's try it out. See how it does. So I don't know if you can, I'm sorry, I don't have the best lighting in here. It is, after all, in the evening, and I should have started this in the afternoon, but I didn't. So you'll just have to bear with me. I don't have like one of those ring lights or whatever people use when they film themselves, because I don't really want myself on camera, to tell you the truth. So you get to look at my hands. Oh gosh. Now I may not spend all this time with you watching me do this because I don't want to make my video too long. Oh my gosh. The only thing is, when you're recording on these phones, I wish they'd make the numbers just a little bit bigger so I can see them. That would have been helpful. I just have to sort of guess how long my video has been going. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on a little bit of this off camera, and then we'll come back. It won't be too long. Stay with me now. Okay, and just like magic, I'm back. All right, so what I'm running into, what I didn't run into when I did this particular one, is I think some of the fine tips to these are getting sort of worn down. And when that happens, they're just not really putting out the paint like they should. So I'm kind of wondering what I could do. Let me see if I can't see if something this I'm really surprised by that. Unless these are, I didn't really pay a lot for these. And there were only certain colors in there, so they didn't give you like a grand amount of colors. Now see, this yellow is doing pretty well. There's always something when you think something should be working correctly, and then when it doesn't, it's like, oh my goodness, what the heck? See, I'm basically just giving the look of indentations. I know maybe this doesn't really look right just yet, but it will. It will. It's getting there. And I kind of want to give it kind of a little bit of a rough look. You know, I don't know why that's blending in with my yellow. That shouldn't have done that, but it did. Why did it do that? I don't know. So I think all you missed was me experimenting with my markers, which I'm not too terribly pleased about, really. Now this particular one I would imagine is black, so I need to. I'm hoping this works. Otherwise, this is not going to work out. Okay, we're going to want to kind of go over here. You're probably wondering, why are you putting black on there? Thought you wanted the rusty look. Well, we're also doing shadows. Because when you look at a jar, there's always a place where when light hits something, there's always an area where it's shadows. So I'm kind of going with this one over here. Because we're trying to give it like a metal look. I think I just sort of went like that a little bit. And I kind of did it over here too, because in your jars, you're going to have little areas there where the light doesn't quite hit it all the way, depending on which way you're looking at your jar lid. Okay, and I want a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit of black over here. Now I also remember what I used on this was, oh, heavenly days. I'm going to have to get up under here to get this. I stuck them up under there. Why did I do that for? I don't know. But anyway, I have these black pigment micro pens, and I usually use those for my detailed drawings. I have used them in the past. This is a new pack because you do have to replace things after you use them for so long a time. These are water resistant. You basically want to work with something that is water resistant, because if you do any kind of painting or watercolor or anything like that, you're going to want to have something that is resistant to water or waterproof or whatever. So I'm working with a number 4 here, and I'm just going to, it's a little bit of a thicker nib on it. I just want a very light line right here. We kind of want to basically just kind of do that, and you're probably thinking, but that still doesn't look like crust. I know what you're thinking. I really do. I think that's what I did in the other video, was I didn't show you how I came up with the look of the jar lid. Now the metal look. Now what I'm really hoping is one of these pens will do what I need it to do. Okay, so I'm going back over here to work with. I'm hoping what will work with me here. Maybe this color. I'm not really sure. It looks like it would be a deeper red, but it's really not. So I don't really want the big dot in. See, these are getting some colors on them, and I'm really hoping that they work. When I do it on my finger like that, it reminds me of like 1980s lipstick. That color that I don't know, I didn't like that color. It was too orangey. Now see, I don't know why this is not working correctly. The only thing I can think of is that nib is dried out already. And that is not a good thing. For doing videos here, I'm saying, oh yes, we're going to give it that rusty, worn look, but if the nibs are not working to get the flow of the color out, it's not going to do right. So I'm having to use the bigger end here, and hopefully I can get it to work okay. What this tells me is I'm just going to have to get some other types of markers to work with. That's just what I'm going to have to do. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Now I kind of wish, well, that B over there on that one is covering up where I did that. Now see, that just tells me that after a while these nibs dry up. So, now what to use? Well, let's use some, this better work. If it doesn't, I won't scream, I promise. This might actually even do better on wood if you had a very thin piece of wood. Now, when I look at this, when I'm looking through my camera's point of view, it doesn't look half bad. But when I'm actually seeing, I'm thinking it's not, it's not coming together the way I thought it would. But that's okay. We're still working with it. It still could come together. This is just a fun project. You're probably thinking, well, what would you do with a project when this is finished? Well, there's a myriad of things that you could do with it. Um, these are probably going to go, I was thinking originally they might go in my craft room, but I might find a little place in my kitchen to hang them. But you can hang them, you could use string, or what I might do, I have a very thin piece of wire that I might use to hang these up. And in another video, I can show you how you would possibly attach that wire then. Okay. So I need to go back to my this and go back over these areas here. Oh, I didn't think about, never mind. I'm thinking out loud to myself. And letting you all hear it too. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Basically, you're just kind of going over areas that you've already been through here. I've learned a lot of my painting skills from trial and error, just teaching myself basically. When I was in high school, I took a lot of art classes. And funny thing is, I always had the same teacher over and over again. Wonder why that was. Don't know. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this microline pen here and go over this area here because we want to give it a look. Of like little ridges. And they might sure have a technical name to them, I don't know. I didn't really do that on the other one, but I thought I would on this one just for the heck of it. And the lines don't have to be perfect or anything. Now see, that's not real. You have different, what's the word I'm looking for? Now see, I kind of, looks like I sort of messed that up, but it can be fixed. Nothing's ever permanent when you're working with crafts, especially when you're doing this kind of stuff, because you can always go back over it to kind of even things out a little bit. So let me see here. I've done that. Now I want to marker. I want you to work for me here. It doesn't want to work. Why? Why are you being so stubborn? Well, fiddle-dee-dee. I don't think you have to shake these. look at that. It's like it's not even working. What is going on? Oh. Really? No, that's just fine. Look at that lovely flow there. But no, oh no. Just because I wanted to do another one of these and you guys have to mess up on me. I don't know. The bigger nub does tend to make that look a little bit better. Oh well. Quit your growling, Mary. It'll just have a slightly different look about it than the other one. And that's all right. I'm also working with readers that really magnify my work. It's always helpful to have glasses that you can, at least these aren't falling off my nose. Like my other ones were always doing that. Isn't that nice? So I have to kind of say, well, okay, that's kind of an overkill there. Let's come in here with this and see if we can. Oh yeah, that's nice there. Why can't the other one do that? I've noticed that some of these work better than others. If you hear a funny noise in the background, it's my chair. You're probably thinking, well, you just seem to be going over the same areas. Well, yeah, I know that. And then you just got rid of all your dark. Yes, I understand. This all has just a process here. Let me see. I want my, like I said before, when I've done this before, it took me several times to kind of go over the same areas even to kind of get the look that I wanted. Now see, having that brown there will kind of make that look a little bit deeper, like a deeper gold there. Who knows, you might even, if you try this, but I would recommend getting some acrylic paint markers though. And maybe not these, obviously. You might want to pay, I mean, they do have different prices for things, obviously. So if you wanted to spend more, that's just totally up to you what you want to do. Or if you think Copics, that's the word I was looking for earlier. If you think Copics would work better, oops. One of my hairs got in the way here, so I got to move that. Then try it and see if it'll work. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but who knows? Maybe it would. It's all about seeing what works. And so I don't want to do too much that. That looks like a really junky lid. It looks like it's been someone's garage and left in there over the years, you know. So now I'm going to go back over this with, you guessed it, more black. Certain colors seem to be working better than others. Now, why is that? I don't know. I'm not going to try to go over that too much. I don't want to take away from it. Yeah, this looks like a pretty junky lid, and that's exactly what that's what I want, is a junky lid. Let me see now. I'm going to try a different color, and you're probably thinking, now, Mary, that looks like a pinkish purple. You would be right, but you never know. You might. Just might get a nice little interesting look. I'm looking for something that's going to make it look like rust. Since my red doesn't, and what in the dickens is going on here? I don't get this. Obviously it doesn't want to work either. And I haven't really even used these colors a whole lot. So what is the darn deal? Really? Ugh. How aggravating. I mean, that is so aggravating. Now, listen here, Mr. Red. Where you really not are, I can't even talk. You're not really a red, are you? Are you not going to work either? Really? Mm-hmm. I'm having to use this red. We're just going to pretend this is, rust, okay? Because some of my browns are not going to want to work. And anyway, this is just to kind of give you an idea, although a lot of my colors were not working. See, these were working better on this one. And this one, I don't know why, but it doesn't seem to be working as well. But now I need to do the top on that. Ugh. Let's see, will you work for me? Please work for me. Don't be silly. Okay, we're going to want to go over the top. This is a metallic silver. This one works great. Just wish I could say the same for the others. Ha! And really all we're trying to define here is this is definitely a lid, Okay, so I'm not going to work so much on that. And I don't even know. I'm going to have to stand up to look at that time. Oh, my goodness. I'm already at 43.32. My heavens. Well, anyway, this is probably going to be a two-parter here. And this is the end of the first part. If you have survived me going through color changes here and wondering what's been going on with my markers, then you are good to go. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is going to take forever. I don't want to really watch this video anymore. I know, I've been there too. But this is a process. So if you want to watch the other parts of my videos, you're more than welcome to watch them. In fact, I welcome you to watch them. It's just going to be a process. This is not going to be like a 3 or 4 minute project. Although you could probably do it in 3 or 4 minutes and it would not really look as good. Alrighty, until our next video, I'm signing off for now. And thank you so much for watching my channel. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you and bye.